Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I am ready to make another quilt block. I went to bed last night thinking about different kinds of quilt blocks that I can make, and I'm just anxious to get going and make another one. All right, let's just go over to my sewing table and get started. I have a picture in my head of what I want the block to kind of look like, but it's not something that I've seen, and I don't care. We're just gonna go do it. Let's go do it right now. I have another one of my 13 by 13 inch foundation pieces. I am taking a permanent marker. I'm going to write right on my fabric. As long as I don't have sheer fabrics, it won't show. And permanent will not run in the wash, so you're not going to hurt anything later when you wash your quilt. I want like some kind of thing going on in the middle, and then I want something weird on each corner. So I'm just going to take my marker and I'm going to make like a curvy line like that. Not quite sure that's what I was going for, but we'll see. And then over here, I'll make a curvy line like that. I'm not sure that you can really see the lines. I'll just do it with my fingers in case this isn't showing. I have a line up here going like this. Then I have a line down here going like this. We're going to work on the center in between the two lines. This part is going to be pretty basic. It's going to be a matter of laying down one piece in the center and just making sure that it goes past the lines. And then I'm going to build off the sides just like we did in block number 1. This is block number 2. And then when I sew, I'm going to sew just a little bit past the line and trim. I'll show you. Okay, so here's one piece. Just to make it easier, I'm going to just cut that off here. I'm going to start with that in the center. I will go press it, and then let's see. Maybe I can add a piece of gingham. Let me get the selvage off here. So my next one might be like, let's do it this way, like this. So I'm just going to press those two, and I'm going to stitch right there, and then I will be back. Okay, I just wanted to point out that I can see my line is going down like through here. I just want to start sewing just a little bit before that line that I created, and I'm going to stop just after it. I'm going to go press this. And someone asked me if I use an iron or some pressing machine. I use an iron. Okay, I pressed this open, and I am going to trim this as best as I can to just kind of keep that curve. Doesn't have to be perfect because there's going to be fabric going over that. So if you made it a little too short or too long, doesn't matter. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to sit and cut some pieces that I'll bring to the machine with me all at once. So let me do that, and then I'll show you what I've done. So here's what I have so far going this way. I just have some pieces of fabric that I know are long enough. And then this little odd shaped thing will probably be with this. Probably get the flower there. I'll just wait. I'm going to just take these three, and when I get to the machine, I'm just going to fold this one over. Now this is a stretchy fabric, so I ironed on a little bit of fusible webbing so that my fabric won't stretch. Makes it super easy for me to sew. I will show you how to do that. Coming soon, I promise. And then I'll press that one open, and I know that I have my next fabric. And I'll press that one open, and then I'll do the next one. So let's just go over to the machine. Grabbing my first strip, making sure that I have it in a position where it will pass my curvy lines. I'm just going to stitch down. It might be tempting at this point to just open this up and sew the next one, but I promise you, if you don't press each time, you'll end up being sorry. It doesn't work as good. I don't remember which one I wanted next. I think it was this. And you can see some of the pieces are straight, like I went straight with this one. Some are crooked. I'm going to go this way with this. Is that even the right side of the fabric? No, it is not. So I want to go like that on this one. For my next piece, I'm just going to go at an angle like this. Now I have more space left over than I anticipated because, of course, when we sew things, they shrink down a little bit. Ooh, how about a piece of satin? That might be cool. Might like that one there. And I think I'll end with more gingham. My satin piece on. Make sure it's long enough. And I'm going to add this piece of gingham, and that's going to take us right off the block, so we will be done on that side. So now I have something that looks like this. And what do I see here in the corner? I see some of my foundation peeking through. So I didn't plan that well enough. I'm going to have to add another piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, without cutting my foundation, I'm just going to cut like this. And now I see that I didn't have to do that because I only needed up to the line. That's okay. I can add another piece. Live and learn. All right. Now I'm just going to kind of like cut to the curve. Just keep looking to see where the curve is. Doesn't matter. The curve can change direction. Kind of curvy there. And let's see here. And now I have to add a silly piece there because I screwed up. Put that guy there. Gonna just go zip that right now and get that done. Okay, so now we have this piece. We know we're covering what we need. I'm going to flip it over just to trim here. And then I'm going to just, oh, the little curve goes back up. I like that curve. And there. Now that you have the idea, I'm going to flip this over, and not on camera, I'm going to go ahead and finish this part in the center here, and then we'll work on the two corners. This is what I've ended up with. I like it very much. Nice and wonky, kind of funky, some big pieces, little pieces, whatever. Now what we need to do is we need to find a way to cover this curvy part on the bottom and on the top. After much trial and error, here is what I have come up with. Grab a piece of wax paper. Make sure it goes all the way across. You want the wax paper above your tallest curve. I'm going to go ahead and trim it. And we'll trim on the sides also. We're just creating a little pattern. And now we're going to take our marker and we're going to draw a good 1/2 inch above the curve. Now you're going to grab a piece of fabric that you're going to use to cover that whole part of the bottom of that panel. You're going to fold it in half or use 2 strips. You just want double thickness. And if you have a right side and a wrong side, make sure your right sides are together. The right sides are touching. Put your pattern on your fabric. And I'm just going to put a couple pins so that is slippery. Now I'm going to cut out on the curve. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. And you can cut your sides. Am I under the camera? Yes, I am, a little bit. Now we're just going to stitch along the curve. That's why you want to make sure your right sides are together. Now I'm going to press this flat like this. Then I'm going to turn it in and I'm going to push all the seams out and I'm going to press it flat that way too. So now we have a nice curved piece of fabric that is completely finished off on the curve. We didn't have to hem it. It gets kind of hard to hem curves. So what we in fact did is create a facing for our fabric so that it just has a finished off edge. Now we can take our block. And looky that, we're going to just put this on the block and we're going to top stitch. Now if we were embellishing at this point would be an awesome time to like also tuck some lace in there. I really wish I would have planned to do that, but I don't have like my supplies handy. I have thousands of containers of supplies and probably don't know where any of them are. So for now we're just going to top stitch. And then this is where you want to use a thread that either matches or has another color that you would like. I'm just going to go ahead with white. Now you can see we have our nice curve on our panel. I'm going to flip it over and trim. And now I'm going to do the very same for the other side. And I'm going to use the gingham again. Okay, same thing, just going to top stitch. Flip over and trim. And now I am going to go ahead and square it off to 13 inches. Now I'm going to go stitch close to the edge all the way around, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Are we ready? I like it. It looks like a fish tucked away in there. Now, you know, the only thing I would have done differently had I done this again, I didn't realize. I like the gingham curved edges, but I have gingham here on the side, and I would have liked this whole piece finished off with gingham too. But it's a crazy quilt, so it does not matter. And I am going to just go with that. Although it makes it look awfully lopsided. Oh my God, I know what I'm going to do. You see what I mean? It makes it look like it's framed, but not completely, because there's this piece of fabric here. I don't know, I'm being awfully picky. But you know what I'm going to do? Since there is that piece of color there, I'm going to go ahead and add something else here. I'm just going to take some seams out here that I just stitched, make a little bit of room, just so I can get under the curvy fabric, and then I'll be able to stitch over that again, and I'm going to do the same over here. A seam ripper is your best friend. Okay, this is a good way to show you that if you're not exactly thrilled with what you made, you can always change it. Doesn't mean you need to be fussy, but if you can change something that you'd like to change, it's fun to change it. Good way to learn. All right, how about I go with the same fabric that we have there. So now I'm just going to cut a piece long enough. I'm going to go to my machine. I'm going to open this up on each side, and I'm going to just stitch this down, making sure that I go underneath the fabric that I just undid. Now I'm going to flip this over and trim, bring it back. Going to trim the part that's going to go back under that curve. See my curve? I'm just going to be bringing my curve back up and stitching on it again. Same here. Trim just a little at a time. Cool beans. I'm going to the machine. So I'm just going to start where I ripped those stitches. Just going to start behind there a little bit. Take a few stitches forward, a few stitches back, and go. Now we're going to do the same on this side. This side has just a little bit that I undid. Just going to sew that up again. Now I just have to trim along the edge of the block. And then I just need to stitch that side down again along this edge. And now I like it better. This piece just does not stand out as much. It just looks awesome. It's almost like a little river of multicolors going through a field of blue and white grass. Well, thank you so much for watching this quilt block tutorial. I'll take a couple of pictures for you and you can see it up close, and I will be back with block number 3 soon. Bye!